Hi everyone. Today's video is going to be about the shoulder. Now this joint is a common place for a lot of overuse injuries or instability injuries or instability pain. A lot of patients I meet have some kind of problem or pain while lifting the arm. This may be due to a lot of different reasons, but the most common one is some kind of instability or weakness or imbalance between the muscles. And I will explain to you what it is I usually find. Now the anatomy of the shoulder it's quite an unstable joint in itself because the joint surface is very small. This means we need to have a lot of really good muscle or active stability. And most people know about the shoulder cuff, the rotational muscles originating from the shoulder blade and connecting to the head of the upper limb. We have these muscles coming from this place, doing an external rotation. We have muscles coming from up here and connecting its abduction. And then we have muscles originating from inside of the shoulder blade on the inner part of the head, which will create an internal rotation. Now these muscles functionally are supposed to stabilize the head of the upper limb while we move the arm. So kind of keep it gliding and in place. They also, of course, create the external rotation and helps in the abduction, help the bigger muscles like the deltoid and so on. But the main cause is to stabilize the head inside the joint. Now, a lot of people I meet with pain in this area usually know about some cuff muscle exercises that they have done a lot of rotation, they have done some abduction and so on, and they still experience pain. Because this part here with the cuff is just one part of the key chain for stabilizing this joint, the shoulder joint. But if the shoulder blade itself is not in a good position, then you will have problems actually being stable in this joint. Now the shoulder joint is a very movable joint as well. It really only connects up here. This is the only stable joint from shoulder blade to the rest of the body. The rest is again an active muscle stabilization. The role for the shoulder blade is to create an anchor for these cuff muscles, which means that it itself needs to be stable. The trapezius muscle is really, really big, originates from all parts of the upper thorax and neck to the shoulder blade, basically like this, like a fan. The upper part is where we a lot of times experience pain and so on from stress or overworking this muscle. The middle part is to keep the shoulder blade in its position central to the body. And then the lower part is to keep the shoulder blade in its place a little bit down on the thorax. Another key chain in stabilizing the shoulder blade would be the serratus anterior that originates from inside of the shoulder blade and connects to the thorax. The serratus anterior works to keep the shoulder blade stuck like that to the thorax, so it doesn't wing out. Okay? To keep the shoulder blade in a good position, in a stable position here on the thorax, we need good activity in the serratus anterior to keep it in, and in the mid and lower part of the trapezius to keep the shoulder blade here in a good position. If you have a good stability here in the shoulder blade, then and keep it in a stable place, then you will have a better chance of working the cuff muscle, stabilizing the next joint here. Now, a lot of people that experience pain or discomfort in this joint without having a traumatic start to this pain, the findings are usually either postural, meaning a position of the body like this, an increased flexion of the upper back, which will in turn affect the shoulder blade to glide a little bit outward on the body or on the thorax, which in turn, of course, changes the biomechanics of the cuff to be able to work. So just by positioning the shoulder blade in a good position or stabilizing it externally, then you have a lot of people can do the movements without any pain. And that's normally a key finding for these patients, which means that a lot of times you don't actually have to do a lot to this joint itself, but you need to work on stabilizing the shoulder blade first. If I am training my rotator cuff starting in the wrong position of the origination because of the shoulder blade moving, then that will give no result at all. Also, a lot of people have imbalance between the front muscles and the back muscles, which will also create a tendency to draw the shoulder blade forward. And again, we have the same displacement of the shoulder blade. That would mean that you need to decrease tension here on the ventral part and work with strength around this area.